All right, so one of the leading stories on One News tonight is uncertainty surrounding how many Kiwi nurses will find jobs. Let's start, even though I recorded a conversation this afternoon that relates to this, so there might be more information in this story. Let's have a look to what they've got to say about the whole thing.
There's uncertainty about how many nursing graduates will get jobs in our hospitals, with Health New Zealand now being urged to be upfront with the public. The health sector boss evaded questions on the matter during Scrutiny Week, a new Parliament initiative designed to get answers from ministers.
Isn't that hilarious? Te Whatu Ora ran away from reporters during Scrutiny Week. This is a week where we're allowed to scrutinise you as you're running away from answering questions. Hilarious.
And public servants. Here's senior political reporter Benedict Collins.
Our health minister getting a VIP tour of Dunedin's new hospital today.
Didn't you feel the clouds in the sky today, Chewy? Didn't it just feel a bit darker and a bit dimmer today?
Just a couple of blocks away from where I was. Do you know how tempting? Do you know how tempting it was?
So we'll go up to level 1, we'll have a look here, that's where the MRI is going in.
But there are now fears
that's where the
budget
MRI
constraints
might be going in.
Yeah, if we get all the funding.
Te Whatu Ora will mean it's going to get a whole lot harder for new nurses to find work in our hospitals.
There's a recruitment cap because they don't have budget to employ these people. And so we are very worried that a whole crop of newly graduating nurses will have no jobs, and for the ones that do find them, maybe outside of Te Whatu Ora, won't be properly supported.
So that's the properly supported thing, right? That's the Te Whatu Ora has the system. Like if you are training to be a teacher, you go into a school, you get a like a senior teacher above you. There's a system set up that they help you for the first 2 years, and then you become a fully qualified teacher. Te Whatu Ora is the place to get those graduates the proper help. So if I said, like I said before, if they go into a rest home, which they can do, that system's not there to support them. And they need to have it as a part of their registration in the first 12 months. So that's what's so important about getting a Te Whatu Ora job, as opposed to a job working in a rest home or for a GP or whatever.
Tried to ask Te Whatu Ora's boss, Margie Apa at Parliament, whether she is planning on cutting back on new nurses.
Margie, hi there. Oh no, can I ask you some questions, please? Oh yeah. Can I? This is important. Can I please ask you a question about what Te Whatu Ora's plans are for the mid-year intake of nurses?
The health sector boss with no time to tell New Zealanders what's going on with our nurses.
Now, if you want to argue, well, maybe she literally had 60 seconds to get to it. Stay with us, baby birds. We'll show you, because later on they talk about after this interaction, they contacted Te Whatu Ora again, and they then declined. So they've had this opportunity, and then another one later in the day, and they still refuse to front to clear this whole thing up.
This is Scrutiny Week. Why are you not answering questions? This is about the public getting to better understand the government. Is it really appropriate for you just to walk away?
We will. I'm afraid I have to rush to another meeting.
But seriously, come on, that's not. This isn't on, is it? Coming to Parliament and not talking to the press? Can you just confirm whether those are your plans for nurses?
Her slow-speed escape from accountability criticised.
This is a matter of public interest. Te Whatu Ora need to be clear about what they're doing. It's not good enough to try and escape questions.
And the health minister says he's asked Te Whatu Ora what's going on.
Graduates are normally deployed either into communities, into aged residential care or into the Health New Zealand structure. And I've been reassured that those graduates are currently being matched and will be deployed.
Hundreds of nurses will soon be graduating.
So there's a major issue here, and Te Whatu Ora needs to come clean and say just how many graduate nurses is it going to employ.
Te Whatu Ora issued a statement saying there's no freeze on hiring new nurses, but did say there are more expressions of interest than vacancies.
I noticed their statement sounds really tricky, that they're continuing to place nurses. I mean, that could be true if they just place 2 nurses. They need to come clean and say the number of places they have.
Calls for Te Whatu Ora to tell it straight.
Okay, Benedict,
So
there's
keep
clearly
listening.
a lot of uncertainty here around how many new nurses are going to be able to get jobs. This must be pretty unsettling for the hundreds of people who are about to graduate.
Well, it certainly is. One recent graduate got in touch with us today and was saying, look, her and her friends are now really worried about whether they're actually going to be able to get jobs in our hospitals like they'd been planning on. She told us it just doesn't seem right. What's going on here? Look, other nursing students and graduates, they took to social media today and were actually asking Te Whatu Ora directly, hey, what does this mean for us? What does this mean for our jobs? Look, given this, we went back to Te Whatu Ora this afternoon and we said, hey, look, people are clearly worried. Nursing students, nursing graduates, they're clearly upset. Would you like to make someone available for an interview this afternoon so you can give us the facts and we can explain to them exactly what is going on here? And they said no.
So the thing about it is, Jude, you see what I'm saying? There is uncertainty that obviously a chief executive or a comms person could have made themselves available to clear up the uncertainty. They've made an active choice to not clear up the uncertainty, and that makes me go, what's going on? Because I feel like if they have the best interest of the nurses and the patients at hand, it'll be a very easy clear up. But something's going on here. Whether it's with the government's got their thumb on the scale, whether there's something with the chief executive, or if just no one's got the information, something's going on which doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Comms people are back office though, so maybe they just got rid of all of them.
Maybe.
But look, this is a sign of a government saying one thing and yet another government department not agreeing with it or not knowing what's going on about it or not having enough knowledge to front foot it. And it has real world consequences. If you're a nurse close to graduating and you're thinking, shit, there's not going to be a job there for me, what do you do then? You jump on an Australian nursing recruiting website
100%.
and you fucking get on a plane and you go.
Yep.
And we lose an entire cohort of nurses.
Yep, and that's one of the things that's been getting said. I mean, I think in that tweet that I put up that someone else sent through and tagged me, can you see what the first response is? Australia beckons, what a waste. So exactly what you're saying. And
they already pay more.
Yeah.
And you have people that actively want to choose to work here for the benefit of us in this country. And now we're going, like, even if you want to stay here, we don't want to hire you. It's like, why would you stick around for that?
Yeah.
The disrespect.
So there's a heap going on there. There's a super chat here from Jackson Media. Nursing post-grad has already had limited space. We already have a health system in need of nurses that's broken. This will put patients at risk. It's a question I ask of our next guest as well. Is this dangerous potentially? So yeah, the thing that's frustrating most of all now. So you know what Occam's razor is. Occam's razor is people often talk about, you know, the most obvious answer is more often than not the true answer. Actual Occam's razor talks about the fewest number of assumptions to get to a correct answer. So in other words, you don't assume anything. Now, Occam's razor on this says that Te Whatu Ora is up to something. Whether that up to something is because of government pressure, or whether that up to something is because of, I don't know, the senior level are protecting themselves. I don't think the government has installed, performance pay or anything yet. I know they're talking about it, but I don't think that's a part of the makeup of any of our government agencies yet. So maybe, I mean, what's the logical answer? That there's pressure coming from on top? But again, the government would know if they did. It doesn't make sense that that's the case because they'd know this would be a terrible headline. And every time they get a terrible headline, they run from it. So I don't know. It's all a bit confusing to me, to be perfectly honest.